Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the channel. Mantle Productions here. You can see that as of yesterday, or actually that would have been yesterday about 4 o'clock, was it 4 o'clock? Something like that. The A2A Comanche 250 was released. And I don't know, I did have a chat with Scott at one point a long time ago about A2A's release policy. And I said maybe let people know a little bit earlier about releasing an aircraft so that you give the community time to, oh my goodness, I almost got run over, that you give the community time to kind of get interested and let everyone else know and stuff. But actually after the release of the Comanche, I would take my words back and say actually I like the way that A2A releases their aircraft. I like the way that they don't tell anyone that they don't tell anyone that they're actually releasing it until about maybe a week before they're actually going to release it. And in a way, I think that's good because that means that as a community, we're not let down by a project which perhaps doesn't work out. Oh, this is definitely not a good place to park. Excuse me there. Just ignore those silly vehicles right there. We are at the airport of Nuuk, and I've come all the way over to Nuuk to pick up this Cherokee. I'm going to do that a lot, by the way, guys. I'm going to call this a Cherokee by accident, so please forgive me for that. This Comanche is here at Nuuk, and I came all the way over to Nuuk to buy it and pick it up, and we're going to configure it, pre-flight it. We're going to do a circuit with a touch and go, and then we might head out. I'm going to do a ferry flight. I'm going to take this thing from Nuuk here up in southern Greenland down to, well, I'm going to get probably as far as maybe Norway or England. I might get down to Shoreham. Yeah, I might actually get to Shoreham. And there we go. I'm moving through more scenery. Sorry about that. But yes, so this is kind of my first impressions video. I haven't flown this very much. I did fly it last night, just after buying it and installing it, and of course, you know what I mean, guys, is when you first get your new A2A aircraft and you basically mess around and you act like a fool. You mess around and you break it. So in its current state, it's pretty much a bit broken. But that's okay, because when we pre-flight it, that should actually show up in the pre-flight, and that's something we can fix in the maintenance hangar. So that's why I've left it in a semi-broken state. It's not completely broken, but it's fairly broken. So this Comanche, let's go and have a look on the inside. Let's just pop open my virtual cockpit. Boom. Absolutely stunning. You can see I've got the 750, the GTN 750 installed. I might actually... no, I'm going to leave it there for the long haul ferry flights. I'm going to use that to ferry us over. Let's just go and have a look around. Let's go have a roam. Let's go have a roam. So as always, A2A's quality is superb. What is that? What is that right there? That's a cabin ventilation. Depending on what the... I can't open that right now. Depending on what the temperature is, we might not want to open up the cabin too much at the moment. This is prepared 3D 2.5, by the way, folks, for those of you who are wondering. And what's that up on the roof? Let's just stroll over there. Oh, okay, and the passengers get the comms as well. Obviously, of course, this is a 4-seater, so you would want to have your 2 passengers in the back. Oh, there's a little light. Obviously, it's cold and dark at the moment, so none of these switches are actually going to do anything, but we will have a lot of time to play around with this aircraft by the time we get it back down to England, so don't worry about that. So let's just zoom in here on our controls. We've got some beautiful switches and dials. You can see the way A2A have modeled and textured this it looks like a used aircraft. It looks like a well-loved, you know, Comanche 250. It's an aircraft that's been used. It's second-hand. That's why I'm buying it here in Nuuk. I'm just going to sit here and pretend that this is a used, very used. Yeah, look at that. A very used aircraft that has recently had the GTN 750 implementation installed with a new engine and airframe. But yeah, but the actual actually let's just pretend the airframe is actually fairly old. I don't know, but let's just get stuck in. Let's see if we can open the door there. So it's very Piperish. Obviously, it is a Piper. So for those of you who have flown and loved the A2A Cherokee 180, you will feel familiar with this aircraft. So this is not a Cessna. It does not feel like a Cessna. It does not fly like a Cessna. And there we go again. Thank you very much, man. These Greenland airport staff are pretty crazy. So yeah, it's a Piper. It's going to fly like a Piper. It's going to feel Piperish in the cockpit and outside in the way it flies, which is fine, which is lovely. I'm looking forward to having another Piper and seeing what that feels like. Why have I only got two? I should have three. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right. Let us do a pre-flight before we do anything else. This is probably, you know me, this is probably going to be a fairly long video, so, you know. Not that one. There we go. Right, cabin. Let's just... Oh, I can't do that until I release. Let's release my control lock so I can get rid of these, so I can see my instruments. Right, control lock. Control lock, remove bungee cord lock, master switch on, which is, I believe this one. Yep. Fuel quantity gauges check. Bum ba da bum bum. Where's my fuel gauge? Yep, this is pretty much what I mean, guys. Is that I've not flown this yet very much, but that's what we're going to do today. Right. So we've got 2 full tanks. We will sort that out later. Fuel selector valves on both, and tank selector left, tank selector right. So there's no left, there's no middle, there's no both. Oh, both on. Oh, tip tanks. Okay. Oh, I see. That's tip tanks. That's not actual. Ah, there we go. So, fuel tank selector left, main. If I turn that this way, fuel selector left auxiliary, and fuel selector tank off. So if we put them, so if they're both on the main tanks, that's 30 gallons. If I just move that out of the way, that's 30 gallons in the left main and 30 gallons in the right main. And then I believe there's 15 gallons each in the tips to make up 30 gallons overall. So that's 60 gallons in the main tanks and 30 gallons of auxiliary in the tips. I think that's how much it is. I will have to, actually we can check right now because I've got the beautiful, let's go to, there we go, right. So main fuel tanks, 60 gallon total, tip tanks, 30 gallon total. So that's 60, 70, 80. That's 90 gallons of fuel in all, as far as I can tell. 250 horsepower engine, constant speed, 3-blade prop. But we'll get to those things later. So those 2 tanks are on. Okay, let's put master switch off. Ignition switch is off. Flaps are fully extended. Let's just go out and watch that. And they're not working. And that's something that will turn up in the pre-flight, so don't worry. Right, okay, so let's just check. That's locked, which it is. And excuse that that bad-looking texture there, by the way, folks. That's not A2A, that's me. I just made this texture, and I may not have saved the DD. I think it's DDR file. I don't remember. I may not have saved it with the right in the right format. So, okay, so let's take off our rear tie down. Let's have a look at our connectors here. They all look okay. That one there, that one there. The tail looks fine. Let's just give the trim tab a wiggle. Let's come around to where is our? Is that what it's referring to? Okay, yeah, that's probably what it's referring to right there. Yeah, there is no blockage, and you see that's grayed out. That's grayed out. That's new. I've not seen that before. Let's just. Oh yes. Check this. Check the amount of give in this flap. That's not good. Let's have a look here. Does that look broken to you? I don't know. That looks well, of course we'll look in the maintenance hangar, but let's have a look here. That I don't know about you, but that I don't know how healthy that looks. Check for damage. Yeah, I don't know how. Wingtip and navigation lights. Check. They all look good. Okay, inspect light. Oh yeah, they all look very nice and shiny. Let's flick the warning horn. Let's take off the pitot tube and let's check that. Of course, if we had turned it on, it would be hot. Let's take off the wheel chocks. And where's our tie down? There it is. Let's bring that down. All right, fuel. Yep, we're pretty full. That's all right. Okay, let's have a look at our. Yes, oil. We're gonna have to top up our oil before we take our 50-hour flight. Okay, let's go check our nose cone. Inlets look okay. Doesn't look like anything's stuck. Let's just click that once or twice just in case, and then just check the prop for any damage, which I cannot see, but you never know. This is something that just happens whenever you use the aircraft, so it's always worth a check, because you'll realize later on. Let's sump the fuel tank down below. That's fine. Let's have a look at, where are we now? This is, this is our right-hand main tank, which is fine. Okay, let's take our tie down off. Let's take our chocks out. Just have a look at the leading edge, which looks fine. Wingtip navigation lights, all looks fine. Let's check. Okay, maybe that's just the way it's supposed to look, but it looks a little crooked to me. I don't know. Well, this is the first time I've ever looked at these photos, so I'm probably the one that's not thinking about that right. Okay, that's completely stuck fast. There's no wiggle in that at all. So that's weird, because the left-hand flap really wiggled pretty badly. The right-hand flap hasn't wiggled at all. Actually, yeah, that looks the opposite of what the other side. So if they're symmetrical, I would say that probably looks right. Okay, and back in the aircraft. Right, so moment of truth, let's pop into the maintenance hangar and see what was wrong. We know something's slightly wrong with the left flap, because whenever we pull the flaps up and down, they actually don't work. Let's see if... Yeah, so the right-hand flap works. The left-hand flap does not, so that's something we will see. My goodness, that's a well-modeled Volkswagen. Let's go into the maintenance hangar, and yes, we can see that the left-hand flap is completely dead, and the right-hand flap is not quite so dead. Let's just check the engine. And yes, as we've confirmed, the engineers here in Nuuk have done a good job completely refurbishing. Sorry, it's 8:30 in the morning. Refurbishing the engine. Let's just do a compression test, and that all looks fine. And there we go. Thank you, Greenland. And let's just check my notes. Prop. Constant speed composite. Let's go back. You know what? For the flight, let's put on the original prop, and let's just say that back when we get back to England, we'll change the propeller out to the new one. General condition: great shape. Notes careful flaps with some parts are wearing out. Compression checks are fine. Left flap needs to be repaired. Left wing flap linkage is busted. Left wing flap linkage is busted. Okay, so if it is busted, let's just go back here and and look at the links. You know, they don't look busted. Maybe it's not busted enough. I don't know. But this is something that I like to see the pre-flight working and working well. So let's just jump back into the aircraft. Let's fix the left flap and let's fix the right flap. So that's that, and there's nothing else that we need to fix in the. So it's literally half an hour's flight time on the engine and the airframe, despite the fact that someone beforehand smashed it up a bit. Right, so of course to get over to England we're going to need tip tanks. So let's install those, and they look very beautiful there. Apart from that, I don't really know if I want to install other things. The lovely thing about A2A is they give you all of these options, and you can test how these options perform. Let's see if I have any tea left to drink. My throat's quite dry. You can see how these things will perform with the different configuration and setups, but my engine heater is still there. But what I want to do is, just for the moment, I want to leave it set in a fairly default configuration, just so that I can appreciate the default configuration as I'm getting over to England and then and Europe, and then once I'm there, I will fully customize the aircraft for later videos in Europe. So that's that. I don't need to let's just shut that down for a minute. I don't need to deal with that at the moment. So let's pull up my where is it? There it is. That's what I wanted. Let's pull up my thing here and fill up our oil. Let's fill up our right and left tanks, and let's fill up the tip tanks, because you see how the center of gravity changed there. See it kind of rocked from left to side, or left to right. So there we go. There we have full fuel. Let's put our do we want gallons or liters? We kind of want gallons because the instruments in here are set in gallons as well. So let's do that. And of course, to do any kind of ferry flight, you pretty much do need two people. So let's get Heidi. Where's Heidi? There we go. So she's 135 pounds, I'm 170 pounds, that sounds about right. And baggage, of course, we need sleeping bags and toothbrushes for our trip. So let's give ourselves, let's just say 50 pounds of baggage each. That's a fair amount of baggage. And of course that doesn't just include our personal baggage, that includes survival gear in case anything goes wrong. Right, so let's just remove our engine heater, close our door, and pitot heat is on. Let's just turn it off and get stuck in. Right, not that one. cabin. We've ran through that. What was it I was looking for? I know what I was looking for. No. That's what we were looking for. Okay. So, prime 1 to 5 strokes before starting. So let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right. Lean on ground to avoid fouling plugs. Check oil temp before run up. Okay. So let's do that. Let's check my oil temperature here. My oil temperature is, well, it's completely off the chart, so it's lower than 60. Idle under 1000 RPM with cold engine, which we do have a cold engine, so we will be idling. We'll be watching there, and we'll be idling under 1000 RPM. Stall speeds, flap down, blah blah blah. Okay, that's for when we're actually stalling. We're not stalling yet. Upon entering the cabin, pre-flight is complete. That is correct. Passengers briefed. Hello, Heidi. Today we're going to fly a very long flight. Welcome aboard. Seatbelts, shoulder harnesses on, flaps up. Let's just raise our flaps. Yeah, they are raised. Radio's off. Let's just check. Is there a dedicated radio, like avionics button here? There should be. Not that I can see at the moment, but I'm sure we'll find it at some point. So circuit breakers in, that is correct. Yeah, down below are our circuit breakers, and they're all in. All electrical switches off. So all of those up there are off, and yeah, pretty much all of our electrical switches are fine. Let's just make sure, sync our controls. Carb heat is off. Carb heat is off. Fuel selector on desired tank. We've actually got it on full tanks. Gear is down. Gear switch is down. Okay, let's put that down. Engine starting. Throttle cracked. Let's just show us the full range of the throttle there. So let's crack the throttle. Mixture is rich. Mixture is rich, as you can see. Prop full, which it is right there. Master switch on. Check gear lights are green. Yep, gear light is green and it's down. Check fuel pump on and check pressure. So the fuel pressure is going to be there, so we're going to see that gauge flick into the green, hopefully. Yep, it's coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's evening out at about 4 pounds per square inch. That's fine. Fuel pump off. Engine prime, that's what we just did. Mags on both. Like so. Prop, you shout clear with a question mark because you don't quite know if the props are clear and if some kind of Icelandic, I don't know, personnel or someone driving one of those little taxi things, baggage cart is in the way, he's kind of going to have a bad day. So, starter, engage. Here's the moment of truth, guys. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Excuse me. Anyway. Right. Oil pressure. First thing to check. Idle below 1000. Below 1000. Yeah.
TOS system test OK.
That's fine. Thank you very much. Okay. Oil pressure is coming into the green. 50, 60. So the needle is just resting just inside the green, which is good. That's what we like to see. Fuel, oil pressure, ammeter check. Yeah, we've got 9 amps. Oil pressure, we did check. Mixture, let's lean out the mixture now. So I've set that to about 60%, roughly 57% lean. Right. Taxi. Radio's on. Pretty sure my radios are on. Let's just check. We've got DME function frequency. Yeah, nav2 com on ident on. Okay, so that's cool. Right there. And this is nav2 and com2 and nav2 and /DME. I love how they actually have little bits of tape where they've actually taped that on. That is fantastic. And of course com1 and com2 are actually com1 and nav1 are on the Garmin. So that's that. Transponder is on alt. Let's see. Is it down here? Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. But alas, that is not our transponder. Our transponder. Okay, so transponder's on, and let's just leave it at 1200. We're offline at the moment, which is prudent because we've never flown this before in our lives. Altimeter set. Let's just hit B to set that. Heading indicator. We're taking off runway 23, I believe. Let's just check. Yeah, we're taking off runway 23. So let's check that. There we go. And our course is probably going to be roughly there. And I don't know why that is. Oh, no glide. Excuse me, no glide slope. Okay, that's because glide slope isn't active at the moment. Landing gear indicator is green. Radios ATIS, so we need to grab the ATIS. Parking brake, release, brakes, test on initial roll. Okay, so we're pretty much there, folks. So let's release the parking brakes. Let's just increase my mixture. Start. Oh my goodness. Just test those brakes. Yeah, brakes are checked. One thing I realized, folks, about this aircraft. Oh, and there we go. Some fantastic clipping through scenery again on my part. One thing I realized about this, folks, yesterday was the Comanche turns really, really beautifully. Check this. Woo! Even though you're going really slow, it actually, the nose wheel actually turns. In A2A, other A2A aircraft such as the Cessna, you really have to apply a lot of brakes to get a tight turn. But here in the Cherokee, you don't need any brakes at all. I'm not touching the brakes at all. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, that's all just the nose wheel actually turning, which is nice. So let's just make sure we don't run away with ourselves here. Let's just run in and double check our engine temp. Yep, our oil temperature's up now, which is fine. It's climbing, 157 and climbing. So let's just taxi out to runway 23. Let's give myself 40 degrees flaps, I think that is. I'll check that when I get back in the aircraft. And Nuuk is a little bit laggy for me, folks. So this is scenery. Now we're on the runway. I'm going to turn on my landing lights as well. I'm just trying to get some outside views here for you. So we got right landing light, left landing light, strobe, beacon. What is that? Pitot heat switch. Let's actually put that on, just in case. You never know. So we're just going to do a circuit, a nice big circuit, and then we will probably start our flight tomorrow. Because if I'm going to do a ferry flight all the way over to the Europe, I want to know that the aircraft flies okay and that I'm comfortable with it before going. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that probably in the next video. And I'm going to see if I can do the ferry flight in VATSIM as much as possible. So the one thing I did install, by the way, folks, is the duct tape on the cockpit. You can hear the noise there. Oh, and it looks like I fouled my spark plugs. Or a little fouled. I'll have to fix that whenever I land. I can't do that now. I think as a result of... oh my goodness. Those brakes really do rock the aircraft. Just turn around. Let's just pop the parking brake on for a second. So, run up, brakes hold, fuel quantity checked. Yep. Both tanks are fine. Fuel selector is on desired tank, which it is. We've got both tanks running. And the auxiliary tank is fine as well. Which tank is it actually flowing from? Is it flowing from both at the same time? Both are on main. So yeah, it's flowing from the main first. Which it should pull fuel equally from each at the same time. So it's going to be, it might be different from the Cherokee in that respect. Mixture is set, throttle 2000 RPM. Whoa! You hear the propeller. You hear it like humming or throbbing. You hear that throbbing noise? That was amazing. Engine, right. Oil pressure is fine. Oil temperature's fine. Fuel pressure's fine. Ammeter vacuum check. Yep. Yeah, that's the clock. Magnetos. See, there's a drop of a little bit. Oh crap. I'm not used to... Oh, whoa. I'm not used to the way the ignition switch... You actually use the middle mouse button instead of holding, clicking and dragging. So let's do that again. Yeah. So that's showing the limits that we should expect. So let's just bring that down again. Prop cycle 1 to 3 times. This is going to be fun. Oh, I'm gonna do the prop cycle up at 2000. Sounds absolutely beautiful. Well done, A2A. Well done. Beautiful. Carb heat check. My carburetor heat, which is going to be... It's completely still in the green, which is fine. And our temperature, our outside air temperature, is 7 Celsius. 0 Celsius being freezing. Okay. Before takeoff, controls free and correct. There's a lot of checklists, but you know. Let's just go to the outside and have a look at that. That's a big surface area on my elevators there. That's nice. It's Piperish. Okay, fuel pump on, carb heat off, mixture rich, propeller set, engine gauges check. Yep. So it's all good. Trim tab neutral. Neutral's there. Flaps set. Flaps are set. Let me just check. Is there a thing that shows me? Is there a gauge which shows me where my flaps, how much flaps I'm setting? I don't think there is. Is there? I can't see anything in the cockpit moving, so I'll just put the flaps down twice. Door is latched. Takeoff, throttle full, rotate 85 miles an hour, positive climb check, gear up, flaps up, climb out at 105, verify safe landing area. Okay, right, so 85. See the cabin vibrating there? Heavier than I thought it would be. Positive rate, gear up. So climbing out at 105 miles an hour, so I'm well beyond my climb out speed. Let's just bring the nose up to bleed off a little bit more of that speed. So I'm climbing about, what? Yeah, that's about 110, which is fine. Okay, so coming up to 1,000 feet, starting to level off and gain some speed. So just bring the throttle back to 75% and the propeller back to 75%, and you can see my RPM has just come down. Let's just trim for some level flight here, and I'm going to bring the flaps up now, and that's going to change. Whoa, yeah, just easy with the trim. And let's start a right-hand turn. Beautiful. So low air speed, we're already up to 160. So this is a fast aircraft. And just so that I can hear myself a bit better, let's pop in our headphones. Climb up to about 2,000, and we'll sit at 2,000 on the crosswind leg. There we go. Then bring the the throttle back to 50% now, because we don't need all that speed. We're just doing a circuit. There we go. Trim beautifully. Let's bring our RPM back to 2,000. There we go. Lovely. Zoom out so that we can see where we are. So yeah, this aircraft is incredible. Let's just go and have a look at the outside view again. Fantastic. So it's trimmed out. I haven't actually put this on autopilot. It's just trimmed. So the one thing I did notice in testing last night was this is a very smooth aircraft. It's bigger, it's heavier than any other GA that A2A have done so far, and therefore it's much more of a long cruiser than the Cherokee, and the Cherokee was a fairly nice cruise aircraft to begin with, compared to the 172, and of course the 182, Cessna 182 Skylane is a cruiser as well, but this is a cruiser. This is more of a kind of a serious cruiser with the fuel capacity it has, with the design of the aircraft is just designed to be more of a kind of efficient long cruise aircraft. I think conservatively you can get 1,500 miles out of this in range, which is very good. So 1,500 miles range from here would take us all the way to Sombra in the Hebrides. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely very, very capable of going the entire length of my long haul ferry flight from here to just off the coast of northern Scotland. But there's a little bit of turbulence coming in there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to break my journey in Reykjavik, I think it's called. I think that's the way you pronounce it, Reykjavik. Because I'll probably need to go to the bathroom by then. So, and I might as well pick up some more fuel. And I might not... Oh, I don't know what happened with the sound there. But I might not manage to be able to fly as efficiently as the charts say I can, since this is like my first time flying. So, or this will be my first couple flights in the aircraft. I'll still be getting used to it. And yeah, you can see there's a little bit of wind going on there. But all in all, an absolutely stellar aircraft, and I can't wait. I can't wait to get. What's going on here? Just headphones and pitot heat. Okay, that's fine. So starting to come circle round, ready for our landing. Actually, let's do a quick stall. Well, I don't know if I should. This video's going fairly well so far. I don't know if I want to actually. You know what? This is a first impressions. Let's get a first impressions of a stall. Okay, so we are currently downwind of the airport. So let's do a stall and then see if we can get onto final. So let's bring my speed back up, or my throttle, my RPM. Let's bring the nose up to about 15 degrees. So throttle back down to 50. Speed is bleeding off, and if I zoom out, you can see my control surfaces. Just holding the nose at 15 degrees, and it should start to stall around maybe 90, between 85 and 90 knots. Oh, sorry, not knots, miles an hour. Here we go. Pulling the throttle out a little bit more. I can really feel the... I'm starting to struggle to keep it at 15 degrees now. Here we come, we're getting close to stall. See, our vertical speed dial is showing that we're there we go. There's those bumps, and there's the stall warning light, and yep, and one wing drops, boom, and then just release back pressure on the yoke, and then get level again. That was fun. That was fun. That was much smoother than any Cessna will ever stall you. So, but now, of course, let's bring our speed back all the way. Oh, yep. That's the noise you get when your gear is not down, and you want whenever you pull your throttle all the way out. It's just a warning to say, hang on a second, your gear isn't down yet, mate. So let's just see if we can set up a configuration for landing here. So, if we just have a look, no. Actually, yes. Okay, so, maximum flap extension speed at 125. So that's 133. Gear down. Okay. First notch of flaps coming in. Second notch of flaps coming in. Just watch the trim. And third notch of flaps coming in. So full flaps now and gear down. Let's just check. Approach, autopilot off, fuel pump is on. It is now. Fuel selectors are desired tanks, fuel levels checked, mixture is rich. If airport elevation over 4,000, it is not. Reduce speed 120. Gear down, gump check. That is, that's in the manual, because I read the manual. Woo! I'll talk to you about that later. Downwind, flap 1/3, base 2/3, gear down check, final 90, flaps down. So we should be 90 miles an hour, and we do
500.
have, thank you, we do have a crosswind here, because I can feel it pushing us from the left. And going off the PAPI lights, we need to be a little bit higher at the moment, so just making sure that we don't go below 90 miles an hour. Let's just bleed off a little bit more of that speed. Let's just trim. So yeah, the aircraft, it feels very stable. You're going to have to tweak your specific controls to get a certain amount of sensitivity out of your joystick that you feel comfortable with, like every other aircraft, but it does feel very smooth. I don't know how best I can describe that. Smooth as in it doesn't jump around like the 172. When you accidentally push the joystick a little bit too far, it won't immediately like turn you upside down like a fighter jet. It feels like it's got a bit of weight. That's probably because I'm a little bit more power. Little bit more power, little more power, more power. There we go. And I need to be able to actually see over the... Oh crap, I'm gonna stall, I'm gonna stall, I'm gonna stall. Yep, and I just hit the... Can't actually see. That is definitely not good. And I do know I'm over the runway. I came very close to like killing myself right there. Oh my goodness, the updraft, guys. Oh. What on earth? That updraft, I'm going around. Okay guys, I don't know if you saw that exactly. I wasn't controlling my speed perfectly on final. But the bigger problem was the second that you get down to the runway, and this is
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Yep, thank you. Whoa. Bring my flaps up. The updraft on short final, is incredibly pronounced. You can really feel. Okay, so here we go again. Coming in at about 100 miles an hour now. And this time I'm not going to, I'm going to do my best not to let the speed get the better of me. I was watching carefully and I could see my rate of descent increasing. And that's why I whacked in a bit more throttle towards the end there. But I think the wind really is going to screw me up. Let's just trim. I think the wind really does like to screw with you on this particular airport because of the terrain. And Active Sky, I think, does a good job at screwing you over in places like this. A little bit fast, don't need to be that fast, but that means we've got a little bit of speed left to spare. And let's see if we can nail the threshold really nicely so we have room to slow down. Too fast.
500.
Thank you. Not exactly sure what that's calling out. I'm not sure if it's calling out 500. I think it's calling out 500 to minimums, or I'm not sure. It's not 500 feet, definitely, but or maybe it's 500 feet to the runway. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. That's a GTN thing. Okay. Let's try this again. Negative 500 feet per minute. That's fine for the moment. Coming down 100 miles an hour now. Small adjustments on the rudder. A little bit of trimming coming in. 500 feet per minute. That's fine. Pappy lights confirm. I'm on the right place. This is where I start to. Yep. See, I'm sinking way too much there. And at this point, yep. And then watch my. Actually going to completely crash here. Oh my goodness. I could not even see the runway at all. That was bad. This is just a really bad airport. I don't know if you saw there, but on final, the I think the wind it's like wind shear. It's like permanent wind shear because of the terrain. But that's definitely not a smooth approach there to the runway. I would hate to come in here with a dash. Anyway, let's just have a look at the final, the taxiing. I love the. Just have a look. I do love how it taxis. Whenever you apply brakes, you can see the suspension working very beautifully. Watch. See that? It's really nice. Oh! That was just a shudder. Maybe that was a shudder because I was putting the throttle up a bit. Okay, so all in all, a very interesting first flight, you could say, in the Comanche. This is definitely an aircraft with a lot of character, and it's got some things you really need to respect, or else you're going to find yourself in bad situations. I probably didn't need to fill the tanks all the way full to do just a circuit. I could have done on half tanks at least, but I just wanted to do it anyway. We'll see. But the next video for the Comanche will be the beginning of the ferry flight. So let's just spin the aircraft around. You can spin this so beautifully without actually having to do any brakes. So, excuse me, let's get back in the aircraft and let's do a shutdown. Okay, shutdown radio's off. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No, that's not it. That's autopilot. I don't want that. Autopilot disengage. Okay, I don't know where the radio's switch, the master radio switch is. Actually, is it there? Yeah, okay. Right, so that's that. Transponder off. Mixture off. Master off. All electric switches off. That's true. Magnetos off. Control wheel lock secure. And tie downs. Wheel chocks. Pitot cover. Take off pitot heat and fuel pump. Right, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for joining me in this first A2A Comanche video. It's a bit crazy, but you know, what video on my channel isn't crazy? A little bit of lag there. So folks, thank you very much for watching my first impressions or first look at the aircraft. Obviously not a well-polished experience on my part. There are a few things that caught me out, but it's best to do those kinds of things first before going on a long ferry flight. So thank you very much, and without much further ado, I will catch you later. Bye.